This is Geek News Central. My name is Todd Cochran, coming to you from the new media production studio. The lead stories: a judge has smashed the Bezos lawsuit. NASA is getting ready to go nudge an asteroid. Zuckerberg has taken a hefty swipe at Apple. And if you've been thinking about that F-150, the electric one, did you know that they're about ready to increase the tax rebate limit? Well, stand by. I want to welcome you to episode 1566 of the Geek News Central podcast for Thursday, November 4th. This show is sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com and listeners just like you. Great deals from GoDaddy can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. You, yes, you, can support this show today at geeknewscentral.com/insider. Go over there today and become an insider. We want to give a warm welcome to all the new listeners of the show. Thanks for being here. Thanks for checking the podcast out. You can get over to geeknewscentral.com, and we do have the screen capture system fixed. Let me flip it up. We're ready. Yeah, go over to geeknewscentral.com. On the right-hand column of the website, all you got to do is subscribe or follow to the podcast. All the destinations there: Apple, Amazon, Spotify, Google, you name it. We've got it. You can listen wherever your heart's desire, even on geeknewscentral.com. Content's on there on a regular basis as well. Of course, the most important part about that is you can get signed up for our newsletter as well. Our newsletter contains everything I'm going to talk about tonight. You'll get an email directly following the show with all the links to all the great content that I'm going to cover. Of course, you can join our chat room at geeknews.chat. If you're not over there yet, come on over and get on the Mastodon server. We want you to do that. Or if your Discord's your thing, come on in Discord. We still have the Slack group as well. You can always, this is the key here, you can always contact me, geeknews@gmail.com, or on Twitter @geeknews. You can follow me on Facebook just by searching for my name, Todd Cochran. You can also listen to our partner shows. They're all linked at geeknewscentral.com, whether it be the new media show, whether it be the Pro Gear Guru site, whether it be Gadget Professor Mr. Don Bain, or the GNC Weekend Review with Kirk and Scott, who do that show together now. Definitely check it out. Again, all those shows are linked at geeknewscentral.com. This studio was designed by our good friends at audimute.com, AUDIMUTE.com. If you ever decide to get any soundproofing for your home, business, or whatever, make sure that you go ahead and tell Kevin that he sent you. And I just got a comment in the chat room. Yes, James, this is a new edition. I am doing the No Shave November, so it's between scratchy and annoying, and I don't know if I'm going to make it 30 days. I just don't know if I'm going to make it or not. We'll see. We'll see how it turns. I'm going to come in like Santa Claus, I think. Hey, most importantly today is the recognition, of course, that GoDaddy is a longtime sponsor of this podcast, and you can get hooked up with GoDaddy products and services by going over to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. And I did get an email from my GoDaddy rep this morning. I do want to thank all of you for your support of the show in October. We had a good October. It's a great way to come in to November because we got some deals. Some of you actually paid attention to the deals that changed a little bit, and you went over and grabbed hosting accounts. You didn't get it when it was $1 a month. So you waited until October when it was $2.99 a month, but that's okay. You can get all my GoDaddy promo codes at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy, whether it be 30% off a new product purchase, a $4.99.com for new or transfer domains for new customers only. The regular price is $8.49. You can get a $2.99 a month economy hosting first year with a free domain, and $2.99 a month managed WordPress hosting for the first year with a free domain. And it's kind of interesting. Today, I was on my GoDaddy account, and I noticed that one of my sites had a PHP error. And I said, tried to log in, couldn't get in. And I went over to, basically got in the administrative place and I haven't had to use support in years, literally years. And they had a chat box. I went and hit the chat box. And they said, describe your problem. They question marked you through to figure out which agent to send it to. And while I was continuing to do regular work for the regular job, had a short back and forth with the tech. I said, "Listen, something's going on. Don't know what the issue is. I can't get in." And he said, "Give me 3 minutes." And in about 3 minutes or 4 minutes, he came back and he said, "Found the problem." He says, "Do you still have FTP access?" I said, "I do." So I FTP'd into the account. He told me where to go, told me where the issue was. I did a quick little fixaroo with him, give me some instructions, and bada bing, bada boom, we're back in business. So I was pretty pleased with that. And it was one of my domains. It's on an old system. It's probably one of I've told the guy, so this is on one of you guys' old system. He says, "Yeah, why don't you move that?" And I'm like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So it's going to continue until they tell me I have to move or they move me on their own. But I had a good customer support interaction with them today. So, and here's a reminder, if you do not have a good customer support interaction with them, you email me and let you know, send me the ticket number, and I will intercede with you. I have direct contact with the office of the president, and we can get some action happen over there if you have problems. But check all those promo codes out, geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Save money, save time, get online, start a podcast, start a blog. I thank GoDaddy for the long-time support and for your ongoing continued contribution to supporting the show. Thanks so much, everybody. Do appreciate it. All right, what's going on? Oh, James, you're saying I can't be in the same room as Gordon Firemark. I think Gordon will have me beat. I don't see how I can top him, to be honest with you, when it comes to, I don't know. This whole beard thing, maybe December 1st will be the end of it. It's time will tell. Although, as cold as it is here in Michigan, I'm freezing. I turned heat way up in the office today. It actually got a little toasty in here, and I was like, I better turn it down. I'm burning propane pretty heavy. I'm just not adopted to the cold weather well. You would think this will be winter number 3. You think I would be good. But the ongoing organizing of my loft continues. I just got tired of clutter everywhere, so I ordered a couple of cabinets and stuff. So I moved everything around. So we will see how it turns out in the end. I found one company, and I'm just going to share this with you because I was really astonished how good the product was and how inexpensive it was. And I'm going to go over to orders. And the company is called Song Mics, SONGMICS, Song Mics. And they create, and I'll show it on the screen for those of you that are watching. I just want to share this with you. They have portable closet wardrobes. I just need some organizing space, nothing too fancy. And this is purely, it comes from China, I'm sure. But I was really amazed at this. They have shoe racks, they have wardrobes, so for a loft where I have no closet space whatsoever, this thing is fantastic. They have 3 or 4 different products. And it takes about 30 minutes to put it together. It uses plastic rods and interconnections, and it's not something that's going to last 20 years. It may last 5 or 10, but $71. And I'm really pretty amazed. So and this is not something that, okay, if you have a designer house, if you have something where you are, every piece of furniture is matched and thought through, this is not for you, Or if maybe this is something for the garage or something, this thing is perfect for me. And I got a shoe rack, and I got one of their portable closet wardrobes to basically because I could change winter to summer and stuff and store it in there. Perfect for $71. I'm telling you, I was really pretty, I was doubtful. I had ordered 1 unit and got it together, and I'm like, this thing's pretty sturdy. So, again, SONGMICS. That's the name of the company. You can visit the Song Mic store on Amazon. But perfect little mini wardrobe thing. And, again, perfect for my little bachelor pad. It's just fine. But anyway, that's what's going on with the loft and out at the compound. But I've been talking with my team. I need a vacation. I don't know when I'm going to have time to take one. I keep saying that to all of you, but I really truly do need like 2 weeks away from anything internet related. But no time at this point to do anything. We got too much happening. So you're all kind of stuck with me. It is a Red Bull kind of night. It's 3/4 empty already. So we'll get into the content here. It's stacked. A little bit of light on the news, but some of it's pretty entertaining. First things up is a federal judge has quashed Bezos' lawsuit against NASA over SpaceX. Boo-hoo. This stops this drama that's been going on, but he dismissed the lawsuit that Blue Origin brought to complaint. And so I guess they're just going to have to, do their own thing. They've gotten some money already, but they really have not. If you think about what Blue Origin has done, yeah, they can get into space barely, but at some point they got to start showing that they can go a little higher and get on orbit and do some things that impress people, in my opinion. Instead of taking Shatner for a ride, at 20-some million dollars ahead, 28 million or something to that effect. But more interestingly, there won't be any Bruce Willis or Aerosmith, but NASA's getting ready to do something similar to the hit 1998 sci-fi thriller Armageddon. They're going to crash into an asteroid. SpaceX Falcon 9, which will leave the Vandenberg Space Force Base in California no earlier than 10 p.m. local on November 23rd, is going to launch what is called the Double Asteroid Redirection Test, DART. And it will depart in space in hopes of determining if intentionally crashing a spacecraft into an asteroid is an effective way to change its course. Now, why, I want to know what this thing is made up of, because they're going to hit this object at about 15,000 miles per hour. And they're going to hit an asteroid that's orbiting an asteroid called Didymos, Didymos. It's about a half a mile long. And they're going to hit. Which one are they going to hit? So I'm sorry. Let me read this here. If everything goes according to plan, the DART spacecraft will embark on a nearly year-long journey to the asteroid at roughly 15,000 miles per hour and expect to approach them around September 26th. The DART system is significantly smaller than Dimorphos, or whatever it's called, and unlike Armageddon, the plan isn't to completely destroy it, but rather to give it a small nudge. So they're going to go after the small one, Dimorphos. It's about 500 feet in diameter, I guess. And they're going to hit this thing and hopefully nudge it by about 1%. Now, the question is, what is this probe made of? Because you hit anything at 15,000 miles per hour, especially something that is designed to be a spacecraft, that thing's going to fold like an accordion. Well, why not? Why not do like they say in many space fiction books, where they just throw a rock at it? Are they worried that throwing a rock at it will cause the effect of, instead of nudging it, to bust it up? But do you think, this is going to be an interesting science experiment to watch. And but you hit anything at 15,000 miles per hour, it's likely to make a little bit of an impact. If it's only 500 feet in diameter, just nudging it a little bit, the orbit by 1% is really probably, in space terms, the difference between maybe life and death here on Earth, depending on how big the object is. But there is the plan. So they got a short window in November 22nd. If they don't get off the ground, then they'll have another shot at it in February for the logistics of the orbits to make sense. James is helping me out here. He says, as a professional beard wearer, I should let you know that the itchiness disappears relatively quickly. And oh my God, it saves you time. Well, James, I still have to shave my head. All right. So that's the challenge right now, is to figure out where to stop the shave line. Mark Zuckerberg takes swipe at Apple's 30% cut as he reveals Facebook creator tools. Now, anytime someone takes a swipe at another company like this, I'm always suspicious. The social network, Meta, of course, again, in Hebrew, that is the same thing as dead, says it's letting creators make money through subscriptions. Okay. And they're adding new tools designed to let creators make money from their work. He said in a post on Wednesday, he took opportunity once again to call out the 30% cut Apple takes on transactions, saying it makes life harder for creators. Facebook is adding a promotional link for creators offering a subscription and letting them keep all the money they earn through this. In addition to launching a bonus program that pays creators for each new subscriber they get, creators will also gain the ability to download the email addresses. That's awesome. Of all their new subscribers. Now, I want them to let me make money with this podcast, and we'll see. But I will tell you this. You folks are listening to this show on Facebook. How do I know this? Well, my team has the tech. My numbers are significantly up. So I want to know, please, if you take heed, listen. If you're listening on Facebook, I want you to send me a messenger message, because that's where you're at right now. Send me a messenger message and saying who you are, where you are, and how you're listening, and how much you've listened to the show. And I know you're on your mobile device, because that's the only way you can listen to the show on my Facebook page. But I'm getting significant traffic. I mean, more than I would have ever expected. The numbers for this show are dramatically up on Facebook, like dramatically up, double digits, dramatically up. And we're seeing some shows have the same impact. We're still analyzing the data, but I will just say, at least for my show, you're all listening in force. It's not, I don't know. Is it new audience? It looks like it, which is kind of suspicious to me, because we've been on Facebook a long time, the show. So this is a little bit weird for me right now to see where this is going. But you can give me a tip on PayPal. Don't forget about that. And PayPal, you can tip me there as well. Okay. Moving on from that, proposed EV tax credit gets a surprise increase to $80,000 for SUV and trucks. The Democrats have increased the price cap for electric SUVs, vans, and trucks. That means more expensive vehicles will be eligible for the proposed EV tax credit. Now, while the president's Build Back Better framework remains stalled in Congress, House Democrats revealed more updates to the plan on Wednesday, including a surprise increase in the price cap for eligible electric vehicles for the overhauled EV tax credit program in the new language, SUV, trucks, and vans, and with manufacturers such as suggested retail price up to $80,000 can qualify for the credits. It's a massive boost from the original framework, which capped cost at $64,000 for vans, $69,000 for SUVs, and $74,000 for pickup trucks. So meanwhile, you may be qualified if this deal goes through to a $12,500 tax credit. And there's some rules that go along with it. So that's pretty awesome. Now, you're going to need that tax break if you are buying an $80,000 vehicle. Now, come on now. That's a lot of hours at the office, or that's a lot of Bitcoin you've earned or something. I think the only way anyone normally today can afford an $80,000 vehicle is if they bought a vehicle, drove it for 2 or 3 years, paid on it, traded it in for a little bit better vehicle, paid for it for a while, traded it in, and basically worked their way up the ladder. I can't imagine going out and buying an $80,000 $100,000 vehicle from the get-go, that's like a house payment, ladies and gentlemen, with worse interest rates. Well, depends on the vehicle you buy, I guess, but holy smokes. You got to put a big fat down payment on that not to get like crushingly depressed every month when your bank says, "Give me the money for that car loan." you know, the days of driving Costa Canarlies are still, pretty popular with me. And you know what a Costa Canarlie is, right? A car that can coast down one hill and can hardly get up the next. That's the kind of vehicle many of us drive. And actually, I'm looking for a pickup that's a Costa Canarlie, but the pickups are holding their prices like insane right now. I don't get it, but it is what it is. I guess when they start off at $80,000, they're probably worth $8,000 20 years later. All right, Waymo. Waymo will start mapping the complex traffic patterns of New York City. Human drivers will take Waymo cars around NYC for mapping and winter experience. So Alphabet self-driving car division announced it again. It's going to start mapping starting today. And they're going to go through the Lincoln Tunnel, visiting Times Square, driving by Central Park, and doing other usual New York City tourist stuff. Let's just be frank. If you're not renting a car in New York City, if you are, you just need to download that Uber or Lyft app and do that, because it's parking and is insane in Manhattan. Unless you're uber rich, you can't afford the rich parking. My brother-in-law drove a U-Haul into Manhattan when my niece moved there, and he about died with all the tolls he had to pay just to get a U-Haul into the city and out. It was not inexpensive just to drive into the city. So anyway, we'll see what Waymo does, self-driving vehicle. Maybe at some point you'll be getting in a Waymo in New York City and getting drove around. Nikola sets aside $125 million to settle with the SEC. Electric truck developer Nikola Corporation is in talks with the U.S. SEC as part of a civil penalty, part of an ongoing probe by the regulator to whether the company misled investors. The company reported in its third quarter earnings. Naughty, naughty, naughty. Based on the advanced discussions with the SEC, they reserved $125 million as its best estimate of the contingency and accrued liabilities as of September 30th, 2021. Meanwhile, Nikola's, and if I'm pronouncing this wrong, I apologize, but Nikola's beleaguered founder, Trevor Milton, has been busy with his own criminal defense. He faces two separate charges, one from the SEC for alleged violations of security laws and criminal indictment of the U.S. Attorney Office for 2 counts of securities fraud, 1 count of wire fraud. So my. His attorney fees came to $12.6 million for the first 9 months of this year. My goodness. As the end of September, he owned around 16% of the stock, and the company's going to want their money back. And when it comes to the SEC, you do not play. You have to follow the rules. For you Amazon Flex drivers that are out there, and I know a few of you, Amazon Flex drivers will start getting a check for the $60 million in withheld tips. The company settled with the FTC following a lawsuit earlier this year. According to the official announcement, the FTC is preparing 139,501 checks and 1,621 PayPal payments to drivers who had more than $5 in withheld tips. Naughty, naughty Amazon. The highest back payout go to a single driver is $28,000, while the average repayment is $422. Nearly 20,000 drivers will receive checks for more than $600. Remember, you will have to pay the tax on that. So reserve 26% of whatever you get for your tax burden. Doordash is adding in-app safety feature, but carriers need more protection. The drivers say, we don't need an app to call 911, but apparently they build an app for that. They built a set of tools for delivery workers called SafeDash, which includes a way to contact an agent from ADT, that's a security company, or to call 911 through ADT. Why don't you just dial 911? The company is first launching a tool in major cities like Detroit, Los Angeles, New York, San Francisco. So apparently DoorDash drivers are having problems. They're getting robbed. Their bikes are getting stolen, a whole bunch of stuff. But the app will tie to its GPS location, will help them get help. They will listen to them if there's an emergency and they can't talk. So anyway, this is what's going on. You wonder why. And you wonder, I want to hear some of these stories of DoorDash drivers that have had problems and where. There's some places in Detroit I won't go to. Same with Los Angeles. Don't know about San Francisco. I haven't been in the city enough. But it's interesting. But anyway, they built an app to help their delivery people be more safe. Rivian has hit with a gender discrimination lawsuit alleges toxic bro culture. Rivian electric automaker, who recently filed for an IPO, has been sued by former sales and marketing vice president for alleged gender discrimination. And I won't go into it, but the lawsuit alleges that Laura Schwab, a former sales and marketing executive who had long employment history with Jaguar, Land Rover, and Aston Martin before joining Rivian in November 20, was fired after reporting gender discrimination in the company's HR department. That was probably not a smart thing for them to do. So anyway, Rivian spokesman told TechCrunch that due to a quiet period ahead of its public offering, the company can't comment, of course. So anyway, lawsuit, and we'll see how this affects their IPO if it does at all. A new astronomy roadmap calls for a huge, broad spectrum space telescope. The Decadal, DECADAL, did I pronounce that right? I'm destroying the English language tonight. The Decadal survey is a highly influential 10-year plan for what could come next. The National Academy of Sciences revealed and released the latest survey, which astronomy uses to help guide funding decisions. While the survey doesn't guarantee funding, it's highly influential with NASA and the NSF, which fund most of the astronomy research in the United States. The latest version lays out a few scientific priorities, including a study of the formation and evolution of galaxies and exosolar systems, and also suggests which hardware would be required to get the data we need for those studies. In this case, involves the next NASA Great Observatory, a web-scale space telescope that is sensitive to wavelengths from UV to infrared. So it goes into detail what we should be looking for, what we should be building, where the money should be spent as well. So link will be up in the show notes for those of you that are super science geeks, but lots of little ideas in there mixed in as well. Good write-up from the team at Ars Technica. GoPro says the chip shortage won't affect holiday sales. Good for them. There will be plenty of Hero 10 cameras to go around. And if you got a Hero 8, 9, you really probably don't need a 10. I think I have a 7. And it just, I still have low hours on my GoPro cameras. I don't put a lot of hours on them. Also, crypto scammers stole $500,000 from wallets using targeted Google ads. They launched a phishing campaign using Google ads instead of email. And what they really did was pretty smart. They have domain names close to the originals that they were targeting. Exantum, phantom.app, which is the real service. Oh, no, the URLs close to the original, such as Phanton, Phanton.app. The real service URL is phantom.app. So basically, people real easily thought that they were clicking on their service provider's app or link, and they logged in. They stole the victim's passphrase and then logged into their actual website and then, screwed them out of money. So be careful. Don't always go directly via you writing in the URL on your browser to go. Don't do a search and click. That's how you get in trouble. Take the 3 seconds to type out the domain name and get to the site originally, or bookmark it and go there as well. Facebook groups to gain personalization features, subgroups, chat, and tools for making money. So lots of features coming to groups. We're already doing live and prompts and host Q&As and that type of stuff. But they're going to roll out a whole bunch of new features for those of you that are running groups on Facebook. And, it's kind of interesting. We run a group and we run a page. And it's kind of confusing at times. The group is definitely more interactive. The page is more about doing blast. So time will tell on which will prevail over another. AT&T and Verizon will delay the 5G expansion over aircraft safety issues. The FAA is worried about interference with cockpit systems. So they're all going to push a month because they want to give time to get the airlines ready for this C-band 5G turn on, where the C-band slice is between 3.7 gigahertz and 3.98 gigahertz. And that's a sweet spot for 5G service with more bandwidth than low or mid-band 5G with not as much interference as millimeter wave. Of course, millimeter wave is at much, much higher frequencies, not at low frequencies like that. So if you want to know, think about it. 3.7 gigs is C-band. The millimeter wave band is in the 40, 60, and 80 gigahertz band. So if you think about it, about a sine wave at 3.7 gigahertz is much wider than 40 gigs. It's much narrow of a sine wave. And that's really if you think about it in, wide and small and being able to push data through that, it's a great frequency to be at. Not many radars run in that range either. Some, but not many. Incoming New York Mayor Eric Adams vows to take first 3 paychecks in Bitcoin. Okay. Interesting. He says New York City is going to be the center of cryptocurrency industry. Since winning office, Adams has been throwing down the Miami Mayor Francis Suarez in a battle over who can transform the respective fiefdoms into crypto capitals of the country. So he says, we always go big in New York City. And he's preparing to try to one-up Miami Mayor, who said on Tuesday he would be taking his next paycheck 100% Bitcoin. So he's going to do 3. Okay, whatever. So New York and Florida are weighing legislation on crypto. Porsche, and of course, again, if you can afford a Porsche, congratulations. They got some pretty. Porsche has some pretty impressive vehicles right now. Their electric vehicle, oh my God! So not only is it sexy, it's fast and sexy and fast. But Porsche's digital twin can predict when your car will need service. So if you're hard on the brakes like I am, the car is going to basically, pre-anticipate when you're going to need some new brake pads or rotors and so forth. If you drive soft, it's going to say, okay, we can go a little bit longer with you. So they're going to create a digital twin based upon your driving performance or driving style. I don't know if I want any computer reporting on my driver style. Now, we know the black box has all that in there to an extent. But I don't know if I want data being sent up the cloud that I'm a aggressive breaker. Because what happens then when it goes to the insurance company, right? When it gets shared, my rate's going to go up because I brake excessively? I don't know. So I don't drive the wheels off my vehicle by any means, but I do love putting it in sport mode from time to time. Uber revenue's up 72% from last year. But they've got problems. They reported a net loss of $2.4 billion for the quarter. This is largely attributed to a drop in the value of its investment holdings, particularly in a company called Diddy, D-I-D-I. And the loss per share was $1.28 versus 33 cents expected. Revenue of $4.8 billion versus $4.4 billion. And again, $2.4 billion loss. And they posted a net loss of $1.09 billion the same quarter a year ago. So this is not going to do well for their stock. They're just burning money. But they are up. They said, Uber said trips to and from airports grew 35% quarter over quarter. And of course, up 203% year over year. Why don't we compare that to 2 years ago? Uber reported 1.64 billion trips on the platform during the quarter, up 9% from the last quarter. So there you go. At the same time, I thought I had the Airbnb one next. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, there it is. Airbnb profits surged 280% in third quarter. Profits profits were up 280% year over year. No kidding, because no one was going anywhere last year. And the company saw its highest revenue and net income ever. So what was the net income? Earnings per share were $1.22, which is not comparable to estimates. $2.24 billion in revenue versus 2.05 estimated. The company reported 79.7 million nights and experience booked in the third quarter, a slight decrease from the second quarter. This is still up 29% year over year. So they had cut and cut and cut, so they have to be making money. They say that recovery trends continue to vary regionally, essentially with the West and East Coast being absolutely crap. Because no one wants to go to those places where they have these heavy mask and vaccine restrictions. So, but that's what's happening with Airbnb. Apple is also lifting mask requirement at some U.S. stores tomorrow. Where exactly are they doing that? Policy will reportedly apply to stores in Arizona, California, Connecticut, Florida, Louisiana, New Jersey, and New York. Before spreading to other states and shops, Apple's declined to comment. Let's see here. So we'll see how long or if this will last forever. It doesn't say anything about employees, but just people going into their stores. And I need to get to a Mac store to get a battery replaced. I got to get on their repair list to get this MacBook's battery done. I am on the Mac Mini here in the studio now. We made the switch. I didn't know if I told you that. That M1 processor. My. If you don't have to be mobile with your laptop, or if you are thinking of upgrading, don't go with an iMac. Just go with a Mac Mini. It's a whopper. It does well. If you have a Google Pixel phone, some of them are experiencing unusual battery drain after the Android 12 update. Just be aware of that. And so it's about the beta. There is a workaround. Google appears maybe to be aware. So there's a good write-up here on, I can't even pronounce this site. It's PIUNIKAWEB.com. The link will be up in the show notes for you to check that out for those of you that are Pixel phone owners. If you're a T-Mobile customer, T-Mobile is giving away a year of Paramount Plus Essentials to new and existing subscribers, and another streaming service is being bundled with your wireless plan. There you go. Good to go. First it was Netflix, and it was Apple TV. And then starting November 9th, T-Mobile is giving another streaming service. It's Paramount Plus. So this is good news if you're a T-Mobile customer. HBO Max and Discovery Plus may merge into a single platform. But first, they could be offered as a bundle. So back in May, AT&T spun off its Warner Media division, merged it with Discovery in a $43 billion agreement. The deal is on track to close by mid-2022, after which we may see its streaming service become a combined offering to subscribers, according to Gizmodo. President CEO of Discovery Streaming and International J.B. Peretti has also discussed the steps the company will take to reach the goal. Initially, Warner Brothers Discovery, as the merged company, will be called Warner Brothers Discovery, as the merged company will be called, may offer HBO Max and Discovery Plus as a bundle, probably for more cost, of course. But mergers and consolidations, that's what happens. If you are IT, if you are an engineer, if you have worked on 5G chips, Apple is seeking a genius to work on 6G cellular modem before it's even shipped its own 5G chip. So they are looking for a big brain. So if you want to work and probably get paid big bucks at Apple, they're hiring engineers. Link will be in the show notes. Arlo is the latest LTE camera. And basically, you don't need to be via Wi-Fi. You just plug it in and you pay for a data plan, and it will capture and stream 1080p coverage. It only costs $250. And oh no, it costs $430 is what it costs. And I believe it's through Verizon. But a lot of people are using this like when they're remote camping in different locations to keep an eye on what's going around in their environment. But still a lot of money for a camera. Wise, I'm a big Wise camera fan. As a matter of fact, one of my Wise cameras was stolen. I had and I knew there was a little bit of a risk where I put it in the back of the studio here. And I got the fleeting images of a dude coming up and grabbing it. I have him on candid camera because the recording is recorded inside. But I've ordered another one along with a solar a little panel that I'll be able to put up. And this time I'll mount it up high where someone can't get to it. I won't have to recharge it because the solar panel will charge it. And I think $19 for the solar panel. The camera's $49. It's a beautiful solution. It's connected to the Wi-Fi here in the studio. It's recorded locally on a little base unit. Really, it's a fantastic combination, and except my stupidity in not mounting it correctly. So if you have Wi-Fi, you don't need to spend this big money. You really, really don't. WYZE. I'm a big fan, big fan of those cameras. I think I've got 8 or 9 of them between the house, here, various locations. So definitely check those cameras out versus this $420 Arlo. All right, Turkey Day. We're into November. We're 21 days away from Thanksgiving. Gobble gobble. GE Appliances wants you to trust its smart oven to cook the perfect turkey. A software update brings turkey mode to GE Appliance smart ovens in ranges this week. So if you have one of those, the Kentucky-based GE Appliance gave the folks over the Verge a demo. You put the bird in a roasting tin, pop it into a cold oven, insert the temperature probe into the oven, push the turkey mode button either on LCD screen of the oven or in the GE Appliance Smart HQ smartphone, and sit back and relax. I don't have a smart oven. My little oven in the loft barely will fit a turkey. I don't even think it'll fit a turkey. It's like a half stove. So no smart appliance for me. I'll have to be putting the probe in by hand. All right, next up. Boeing gets FCC approval for a satellite broadband network. The constellation might offer competition to rivals like SpaceX, but they're going much, much higher. The majority of the constellation's 132 low Earth orbit satellites would fly at an altitude of 656 versus 200, as Starlink has done, increasing the latency time. And they're going to put a few in geosynchronous orbit as well, but at least they now have their license to put some satellites up. Roku, company I really do love, and I feel bad for Roku at times, but because I was there in the beginning when they had like 15 people working in their office. I sat down with their team several times those early days. There was someone I could walk in and say, "Hey," and they say, "Hey, Todd." They knew who I was, But the company's revenue came in at 600, and they're not the small company they were. They came in at 680 million, just below a forecast of 683. That's still up 51% from a year earlier. Roku's earnings per share of 48 cents, however, topped expectations for earnings of 6 cents. And they basically said chip shortages. They got problems. They had problems getting chips. And their stock went down to $280. And from like well over 300. So very, very sad impact to their stock price, but they'll recover. They'll be okay. Tom Hanks, he was on, I believe, with Jimmy Kimmel, and He explains why he turned down an offer from Amazon and Blue Origin founder Jeff Bezos to go to space. He says it cost $28 million. He said, I'm doing good, Jimmy, but I ain't paying $28 million. Well, good for Tom. Good for him. Hanks went on to say that everyone could simulate the experience of going to space by leaning back in their chairs and shaking for several minutes. Well, okay. The comedian he is, the experience it is not. Finally, tonight, Indiegogo will review crowdfunding campaigns before they launch. The company will do more to snuff out scammers and unfeasible projects. So I just put my money into one recently. It's these battery packs we're all using. Every one of us carries around a brick. Master, I got a brick right here in my hand right now that's charging a mobile phone. We all carry those, right? But most of these bricks are not designed, my older bricks are not designed to charge at the higher wattage. These phones now can get charged in like an hour. But on these older bricks, it's like 5 hours. They got the power to charge them, but it just takes a lot longer because they don't have the same amperage output. So a lot of the new bricks that are coming out have the higher wattage that you can charge faster with. So I put my money in on one to get one of these superchargers. I'm looking forward to that coming in. It's by a company that makes these, so it wasn't really at a risk. Sometime in November, but these battery packs are just a extension of ourselves at this point. I have two in my car at all times. Isn't it crazy to have two backup batteries and I've got USB, but my USB ports in my car are slow chargers. They don't charge quickly. So it's the same challenge. So back to bricks we go. All right, this is going to wrap it up. As a reminder here to everyone, don't forget about the sponsor, GoDaddy, geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Of course, I'm at Geek News on Twitter. If you're not following me over there, please do. And you can always tip me over there if you feel I'm worthy. Of course, geeknews@gmail.com is the place to go to email me comments or concerns about the show or give you any feedback. Again, but the main thing is become an insider. geeknewscentral.com/insider. $2, $5, $10, $15, $20, or $25 a month or one-time donations are greatly appreciated. They are not tax deductible. I'm not a nonprofit, but I'm here doing the show, putting it out for you, hopefully keeping you entertained. I want to thank you all for your ongoing support, of course, of the sponsor, GoDaddy, as well. It's greatly appreciated. Every dollar that we get for donations absolutely unequivocally goes to paying the writing team. And the writing team's bill last month was pretty big. Actually, we were over budget last month. Partly is my fault because I was gone and I had Kirk step in to do a couple of shows and we kept the show on track. But Kirk bills me for those hours and the time he takes to do the podcast. So your ongoing support of being an insider is greatly, greatly appreciated. Helps the show out a lot. Okay, we're going to get out of here. I want to thank you all for being part of the family. I'll be back with you on Monday. Those of you who are watching can see the progression of No Shave November. And what I am going to do this month is take a percentage of any extra donations that come in and give that to the No Shave organization for November as part of a donation. So that's something that I'm going to step up and do and support. But I want to thank you all. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of the group. Gordon's here. Gordon just popped in a few minutes ago. Yeah, James thinks I'm going to give you a run for the money, Gordon. I don't think so. I just don't. You've got the master beard. I've got the amateur beard. But who knows? We'll see what it looks like. I don't know. I don't know if it fits my face or not. I think it makes me look old. It's the reason why I'm bald. It took 10 years off me, but now putting a beard on, I think it's just going to make me look old. I don't know. Rick, your wife won't let you do No Shave November? Why not? Why not? It's just a few days to get over the itchy phase. That's all. All right. So everyone, thanks for being part of the family. We're having fun. Everyone take care. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.